Okay. So. Ready as it's gonna be. Let's do it. I totally made a little video and I didn't even. Stupid. I never thought I'd want Twitter blue, but here I am wishing I could edit a tweet. I'll also never remember how to spell villains. How many L's? 15? 15 L's, right? Or is it no L's? Because that's always my thing. It's like, is one L right? Is that enough L's, or is it like 5 L's? And I look like an idiot every time writing the word villain. It is. It's. I write it 15 times though. I never just write villains. I have so many combinations of I's, A's, and L's. It's stupid. Like I'm like, it's as if I've never seen the word before.
Warlocks.
You're so I'm gonna green screen whatever they want behind. Let me get the doc that I bitch about. Make sure you have docs. Use those hyperlinks, baby.
Did you want waffles?
Oh, is there news? Is there anything that's like newsworthy happened this week? I don't know if there was anything with the Black Flag thing, or I don't know enough about the Creative Commons thing with the OGL. I don't know what else is relatively new. Yep.
Good morning, everybody. Oh boy, it is Friday, which means it is the other day of the week that we stream. There you go.
This is true.
That's actually what it says on my script. It's really weird. That is the intro that Juni wrote for me to say this morning, and definitely not me.
I tailor this.
What I was gonna say.
I tailor this man's life. Like, this is how do it like this. Trust me.
Oh,
I
man.
write marketing copy, sir. This is how you should do it.
Yeah, this is us. We is professionals. Welcome to the stream, everybody. It is good to be back. And as far as I know, Juni's audio works this time.
Yes.
We shouldn't start 20 minutes late because Juni's mic is screaming at me.
Yeah, it's specifically like it had its own mind where it was just like angry at me for existing. So no, we're in here. We're excited because today we're getting bad.
Today we are getting bad. We talked last episode about the what did we want to talk about this week, and we briefly touched on villains last week. So we or not last week, on Monday. We briefly touched on villains, and so this week we are talking villains. What does it mean to be a good villain? What does it mean to be a bad villain? How do you make a good villain bad, and how do you make a bad villain good? All of those things. Ooh, Juni sounds like a bit robotic.
What?
Interesting.
Remember how I told you that it sounded real crappy on my what I was hearing?
That's super weird. Yeah, you're not coming through like that at all on my end.
Okay, then where is the disconnect? Because I don't hear that on my end. You don't
Yeah.
hear it like that. And then what? Oh no. And this is one of those we won't find out until like somebody says anything or in post, but
That's
Uh,
super weird. Let me try. If I just
I'm just gonna click because now I want to hear it because that that was the whole thing. I was just like, oh man, that was the whole thing. I was just like, wish I wanted to record it on my end, and I couldn't do it.
Oh wait.
What?
Wait, maybe.
Uh-huh.
How about now? Say more words.
I'm here. I'm saying words. But
Chat.
like, I'm gonna try. I'm trying to put on the screen.
Did I fix it? Woo! I'm great. It was my fault. I'm gonna take credit for fixing it. It is my fault that you were coming through twice back to back because the desktop audio was coming through and also your mic.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well,
so
good, because
that.
I said earlier that I was making myself sound like a robot. So I don't like that there's all right. This is how we're gonna start.
If that's the case though, that means that your audio may have also been coming through the entire time we were doing like the loading screen and all of that.
Oh damn it!
I have no idea. I thought I had it set up correctly. One of these days, I have been streaming for
How long?
a year now.
How many days? Hours. Okay.
So over that, but like over a year. But I've only been in charge of the actual streaming side of things for a year.
Okay.
So a little less than that.
I
I
would like it if
eventually
the
I'll
running
figure
gag-
out how this works.
I would like it if the running gag was not that Juni either sounds like crap and or is the sole reason that everything starts off janky. And it's not even like, it's not your fault. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, I don't want this to be the, oh, that Juni.
Right.
Classic.
No, this is
Classic Juni.
This was 100% my fault. And
like I'm cursed.
I don't know why it happened. Oh, man.
Warlocks and Waffles now sounding really shitty.
Warlocks and
Thanks to
Waffles
Juni Ruiz.
now with 100% more audio issues.
Jesus.
Welcome to the stream, everybody.
So
It
we're gonna
is
stick
Friday.
to this outline doc that we have, right? We're gonna do it, right? Episode title is "Oops, Sounds Bad," but again, question mark, and dots to be continued. It's a long title in the process, but the first thing we have here that we want to talk about is we were in a Humblewood game on Tuesday.
Yes, we were. We got to play Humblewood. For those of you who don't know what Humblewood is a 5th edition setting that was made by Hit Point Press, where you play as adorable little animal people. And it's very, very reminiscent to me of, I don't know if you ever read the Redwall books, but it's very like in that same spirit. I love it so much. But Juni and I are both playing in that, and that means that we are like getting to play in a game, which is so exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting. Also, we did a good and or bad job of really coordinating our characters. They are brothers.
Yeah, they are brothers.
We're not to reveal these things.
Adopted brothers.
Yes, adopted brothers.
Yeah.
Which I realized after the fact that I'm younger, even though I'm larger.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that.
Nope.
It's very clear. Like the sibling dynamic we've established is very clearly like you are the big sibling and I am the little sibling. But that also is more or less just because you're bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's the age difference is the opposite way, but the dynamic is definitely you are the older sibling. If you guys haven't had a chance to check it out, go check it out. It was a lot of fun. We are going to be playing. I was about to say we're going to be playing every Tuesday, but we're not playing this upcoming
This Tuesday, yes.
This
Because that is
upcoming
Valentine's
Tuesday
Day.
is Valentine's Day. And so the executive decision was made to not play on Valentine's Day. But it is a ton of fun. 5 of us are playing through it over on the GR Crew channel. That's the Greater Restoration channel. They are a ton of fun. I'm very excited to be playing through.
If you want to accidentally dive into the discussion on how birds drink water, oh boy, that was a fun thing.
That was a fun
where our mom
minutes.
Yeah, our mom turned cranberry juice into Jello, and it was just us choking down Jello because we have beaks, so that's how we have to drink to hydrate ourselves. Is how she established. So that was fun.
To turn all of your drinks into Jello and then eat Jello. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, but did you mention your character? What he is?
No, I was about to say we didn't on Monday. We alluded to our characters, but we didn't reveal what they were because they hadn't been revealed yet. But yeah, I am playing Maximus Bravado, a little mouse folk swashbuckler rogue, and yeah, he's got big ambitions and a long list of food he wants to try.
That was unexpected. It
was unexpected for me as well. It was not a thing that I went into like, here's a goal for him. And then we were like, we're going to the tavern. I was like, it'd be really funny if this little mouse was just like, I want nachos. And then as soon as I ordered nachos, I was like, well, this is now a thing. Like this is because then I was like, well, how does he even know about nachos? So it became a whole thing that he has a whole list of foods that he wants to try. Shiny Summer Child, I am sorry if the background music was just a little high. I have turned that down for you.
I play Hiroiko, a glory paladin rooster, who was adopted by a big old Corvin and whose older little brother is a mouse. So I just knew I was going to be pretty confident and big and strong. Hilariously, I did not understand the size differentials between all these animal creatures, and what I thought was a big strong rooster was just he was strong but still like 2 foot shorter than several other party members.
There is a large section of time of that session spent to the fact that Juni thought he would be the largest.
I thought I was
and is
huge,
several feet shorter.
Yeah, I was just like, I'll tell you, I was like, I don't know, 15, 30 feet. I'm freaking huge. I'm over 5, and they're like, I'm 7. Like, it was just like 7. It wasn't even like close. I'm just like, oh, well, I'm floofing my feathers. I'm just clearly trying to be as strong looking as possible.
Goodness. It was such a fun session.
I did not think that I would just egg you on at all.
Yeah.
I didn't. I knew I'd bite like maybe sassy or something to people, but
I think both of us when we entered into it, both of us had this like, well, we're playing brothers. Like we'll be like sort of like we're teammates, we're best friends sort of vibe. And then immediately upon starting the episode, it was like, yeah, we're real brothers. We're not like brothers as they're portrayed in like TV like, from people who don't have siblings.
It was me encouraging you to do something dangerous that you should not try to do. So
if you like the concept of a group of adventurers that contains a mom and her 2 little adopted boys. And at one point, the brother and the mom rolling opposing checks to either tell me to do something or tell me not to do the thing. If you like that idea, go check it out. It's a lot of fun. I'll drop the link in the chat again for anybody who needs it. Over on the GR Crew, their channel on Twitch. It's so much fun. Yes, Rafiki definitely clipped that moment. It was a great part of the session. Oh man, but yeah, it was the first time. I don't know how often you play, but it was the first time I've gotten to like really just start like letting loose with a character. Because I've played the occasional one shot recently, but it's been a while. And the majority of the time when I play a one shot character, I'm like, okay, well let's make like a character that'll be fun for this one shot. For a character that I'm gonna play for a while, I was like, well, I want to give this some depth. I want to like really dive in here. It was such a good time.
I knew I couldn't fall into the trap of this. Whenever I try to really well define a character, I will always realize it doesn't matter because they're going to react to this situation, however they're going to react. And then I'll find out like, oh no, like this is who they are, and this is what that has shaped. And the
dice have a story to tell, and the character will reveal itself.
But speaking of story to tell, that's a good segue into our first segment. If Hunter's cool with it, we're gonna bring back Dungeon Master's Quandary, where everybody can
game masters, because it could be any TTRPG.
Sure, but we present challenging scenarios from our current campaigns, and we all offer humorous solutions and advice. But anybody can either in the chat if you're here watching us live, or for the audio listener listening to us later, or the VOD, you can email us. It'll be in the show notes, the email where you can send your quandaries.
You can send it through the Discord.
And you can let us know a difficult situation or scenario where you might need some experts to weigh in, pass judgment, and we will be the jury on how this should play out. What
we took the bold stance on Monday of no one else is awake doing a show at this time, which means that we can just declare that we are authorities on things, and that's how that happens.
Who's gonna stop us?
We are the council is in session. Bring your complaints forward. We will deliberate on them, and we will talk about the nonsense elements of it. Juni, did you have a thing that you wanted to deliberate on?
I didn't have one like last time, and I didn't want to monopolize this on my very bad decisions, because it did quickly turn into I endanger children. So I didn't want that to happen again.
In game.
Yes, in game. Like, I'm not dangerous. I'm a good father. But yes, in game last time it was a matter of hey, should I make? I had a bad guy that was a kid. He was a teenager. He was a younger man. But anyway.
We don't need to open that can of worms again.
We don't need to go back into attacking me. We're here to attack your problems.
Yeah.
So, but if anybody has something, they can totally throw it out there. But Hunter, have you had a scenario at all recently where you have during or afterwards gone,
Here's the thing. I have something. I may have even talked about this on stream in the past. But I want you to weigh in on it. Because this happened over a year ago, and I'm still upset about it.
okay, this okay.
Okay, so I have a group of players. They are going into this town. This town is a small town out in the middle of nowhere. They don't have a lot of like resources or anything like that, and they have a really bad undead problem. There are constantly zombies and ghouls and all this stuff that sort of hunt the perimeters of the city. It's dangerous to go out at night. The adventurers come in. They go to the leaders of the town, and they're like, "Well, we could help you clear up this problem." So they're brought in to do this. They're given some gold. They're given some equipment. They're told, like, absolutely, if you can help, like, we're more than happy to compensate you for that. I believe they were even given like a like per head. Like, if you bring us a bag full of zombie heads, we will pay you per head that you've brought us back. Because there's just so much undead there that they were like, it's an infestation. Just bring them, and we'll pay you for it.
Okay.
So the characters accept this this adventure. They go off to do it, and they find that there is this old like manor, this old mansion that is run down, and it seems to be the center of where all of these undead are coming from. And so they go in, they quickly get in over their heads, they come back out to regroup. This happens as a group over and over and over again for many sessions. Every session consists of over the week they make a plan. The session comes, they go in, the plan goes wrong, they come back out, and then they like regroup outside the manor before they go back in to try and do this again.
Okay.
This happens over and over again. They're constantly going in and out of this this infested manor. Eventually, they get tired of their plans failing, and they're like, we should seek out a like just something that we can like make this not a problem anymore. Out of game, this has been like at least a couple of months of games of us like playing essentially the same thing over and over again, because the moment anything goes wrong, this group immediately pulled out and they're like, let's regroup, let's make a new plan. It's like, just roll with it, go, just do the thing. So they over and over and over again do this. Eventually they get tired of failing. And so they go to like this king of the area or whatever. I forget who the powerful person they went to was. But they went to him, they pleaded their case. They're like, we need something that can help us wiping out all of these undead. They rolled incredibly well on persuasion. They made a very compelling case. And so whoever this powerful person was, I cannot remember for the life of me who it was. But whoever it was gave them a magic item that was essentially a radiant nuke. That like, it's this massive bomb. You bring it in.
Story. Okay.
You set it off, and then you run for all you can to get out of there before it goes off. They take it. They're like, "Thank you. This will help. This will solve the problem of the undead in this town. You have saved an entire city." And the guy's like, "Awesome. So glad I could help. Do it in good health." They take this nuke, and they're like, "Well, we've got this other mission we want to go do before we go and clear out the rest of the undead." I'm like, "Absolutely, do a side quest. That's fine." So they go to this town that has like all of this stuff. I forget exactly what they needed money for, but they needed like a large amount of gold, and so they decided that the best way to get said large amount of gold is to sell this radiant nuke to the Thieves Guild. So they sold it to the Thieves Guild for an absurd amount of money because it was an incredibly powerful item. But they sold it to the Thieves Guild. I'm just sitting there like, why? Why?
Yeah,
Why would you just begged me for this item?
Mhm.
So they sell it. They get an incredible amount of money. They go off. They do whatever they needed the money for. And then they go back to that town to try and clear out the undead. They go in. It goes worse than it has ever gone. They almost TPK. It is this whole like horrible ordeal. They barely get out of there. And then those players have the audacity to claim that I put them in a no-win scenario where there is no way to complete the quest that I've given them, that it is impossible to clear out all these undead, and rant and rave at me that I have made a threat that there's no way to overcome. I'm like, I literally gave you a magic nuke. Like, I gave you a thing that bring it in, push a button, run away, problem over. So clearly I'm the monster, but I want to bring this before the council. Weigh in, let me know what you think. If you're in the chat, feel free to sound off. Am I the asshole
Yes.
for
Yes.
giving my players a magic
Yes.
nuke that they didn't use?
Yes. Because this is how there's a point where you are now, I think, just letting them. There's a point where you have to go, all right, you sweet idiots. Here's the deal, and you gave them the thing, and anybody would have gotten to that point. Yes, I would have definitely gotten to the point of like, here's the thing. Them going back and whatever, I would have. I think that what you should have done was, oh, they almost TPK'd. Like, they almost got, like, I don't think that's severe enough.
You think I should have wiped them off the face of the earth?
No. Because that would have been too clean. I think you should have shown them the error of their ways, you should have made it a teachable moment, in my opinion.
Right.
And you should have had, what I like to do sometimes is to really, really make my party mad is just have another version of them, like a B team.
Another version of them?
A version of them. So another version of them where it is like a mirror image team where they're either very easily like low budget quality versions of them or slightly better versions of them. Swoop in, and during that almost TPK moment, do it in front of them, and then reap all the glory and the rewards and the benefit. And then it would have been one, they would have still been like, oh no, we couldn't. It's just like, one, you demonstrate it could have been, and
right.
Two, it's that they can't be mad at you. They're mad
right.
at these assholes for doing that. Like, they stole it from them, but they're going to be mad at themselves because
it could have been done and they didn't do it.
It could have been us. And then you would just narrate these epic moments, like if there's a bard, like doing whatever he does, but better, like but with a backflip. You know what I mean? Like, you would have done all these things, and it would have been, oh man. So I would say
your bard may have a violin, but this guy's got a cello.
Yeah, like a full freaking cello. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's just a bard whose instrument is a full orchestra.
Yeah. So my the thing that I think is where you went wrong is it was you didn't capitalize on the potential teachable moment, because they obviously didn't learn. They went at you and told you, you done messed up. And the way I think you messed up was they did not realize that they are the ones that are wrong. So you can sell them, you did this, but at that point when somebody like they're angry, they've already not telling them and showing clear evidence is only going to make them angrier. It's only gonna, you know what I mean? You got to show them. You got to go like, here.
I will say repercussions and consequences for their action for anyone who plays in a game in my world. Because I do living world, so all of my games are interconnected. They're all happening in the same space. For a couple of years now, ever since this happened, that continent that they were playing on, which a lot of my games were based on that continent, has been dealing with now a lich that was released, and like undead army roaming across, like whole zombie apocalypse type thing has been taking place there. And it's because in the process of them escaping, they did release the lich who had been imprisoned there. So there were additional ramifications to them not blowing it up.
That's advanced.
So
that's advanced.
Maisie Jippers is in the chat just giving like a series of dots because his character years and years and years ago was one of the ones that imprisoned that lich away.
Hmm.
But yeah, I do want to address.
I was gonna say I was gonna address something because are you talking about the beach episode?
I wasn't talking about the beach episode. I missed that one.
I want to just acknowledge that somebody asked for our opinion on beach episodes. If we got time before we have to wrap, we'll touch on that. But I did write it down for the show notes for next week because next week is going to be our Valentine's Day episode.
Oh yes, talking about
Valentine's Day episode,
and
so I wrote down Valentine's Day and beach episode for next week's show notes.
Yeah.
So if we don't get to talk about it today, we'll see if we talk about it until like an after hours or for
let's just go ahead and we'll just go ahead and confirm that.
Yeah, I wrote it down. I was just saying, but like if for general opinion, I wanted to like go if there's time and you had a quick question, you're like, hey, how would you whatever, like while we got you, we would throw it out there. But personal quick TLDR, Juni loves beach episodes.
Hunter loves
so
I ran an entire mini campaign.
Hey, we're not going into it. We're not going into it. You saved for the beach episode thing. You were about to do the thing. All right, no, we got an outline.
Artemis, we will that will be our topic for Monday. Join us back Monday or catch the bot after. We will talk all about it.
But we're at the halfway point, and this is time for our quickie ad break.
Yeah. We have here. Let me turn off the regular music because we have specifically ad break music now.
Yes.
Go ahead and throw that in there.
Yeah. So hey, Raven. Hey,
Raven. Hello, my friend.
So you're joining us. This it's time for our ad spot, and we're not gonna lie to you folks. This next ad made us kind of rethink our ad policy as a show. We need the money. That's just the fact.
I want it on the record.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still against running this ad.
You know what? Yes, there's an outline. Yeah. Oh yeah, things have changed. Juni brought outlines to this damn thing. There's a schedule and time frames, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so but we're trying to grow the show where we want to increase production value. We want to make sure that this is like the most premium TTRPG morning show at 8 a.m. Eastern that and
a very specific ad category. It's not a large
one that we dominate. One that we dominate. But
we dominate a market that we just decided to create.
Correct. So we need the money. So we would just kind of accept any sort of whoever would pay us sweet cash, and we would dish out things. But however, we feel that today's sponsor took advantage of our fairly relaxed ad policy, and is forcing us to just. All right. Well, I'm just gonna read it. I'm just gonna read what we got. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and dive in.
Okay. Here we go. So, introducing today's sponsor, Paladins and Pancakes. If you're tired of rolling, picture this. Warm.
There's a whole ass overlay.
Yeah. Picture this: warm, fluffy pancakes topped with golden syrup, paired with tales of bravery and daring. If you're tired of rolling ones with Warlocks, Paladins and Pancakes is here to provide the divine morning show experience the TTRPG space it deserves, and serving up epic breakfast adventure, heaping helpings of humor, inspiration, and of course, pancakes. Join us for Breakfast of Champions, where syrup-drenched pancakes meets chivalry and bravery, coming soon Mondays and Fridays, 8 a.m. Eastern. What the hell?
Now it's going too far.
With righteous flair, auras that amaze, and a set of hosts that smite inferior infernal hosts, you'll feel like a knight in shining syrup-coated armor every morning.
This is an attack ad.
So join the quest for breakfast greatness with Paladins and Pancakes. Tune in and taste the difference. Jesus Christ.
Unacceptable.
This is
it's so
I don't know who
It's so-
Carther and Maya are.
That's so upsetting. Oh my goodness. How
You
how
ever
dare
read
they?
something? You ever read something? Give yourself like heart palpitations.
Yeah.
Shiny dude. Like, okay, I don't like that people are like actually being down for that. That's kind of
it's very upsetting. Guys,
It's-
don't
really-
don't follow them. You know what? I'm not even gonna plug the website that they don't have. There's nothing there. Don't go check it out.
no lie. There's man. You took the overlay off the screen. Okay, good.
I did take the overlay off the
Good.
screen.
I didn't even get to see it.
Um,
I don't even want to see it. No,
Oh my
Raven, we're not
goodness.
giving anybody a link. We're not gonna like. It's
No
bad enough I
links.
had to read that. I had to read,
Yeah.
and like today's
I am-
episode is villains, and they definitely.
I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be hard to continue, but we do have a second ad. Also brought to you today by the Foundation for Donald Q. Worcester III. Donald was a brave goblin who brought a quest to a group of adventurers, died in an encounter with bees, has since been zombified on numerous occasions, and is now just a skull with mushrooms growing out of it. Remember, for only 2 gold pieces a day, you too can prevent the need for adventurers. Keep NPCs safe. The Foundation for Donald Q. Worcester III.
Not gonna lie, 2 gold a day sounds kind of pricey.
It does sound kind of pricey. I mean, it's Donald.
It's Donald. Typical Donald.
Oh man.
Yo, Paladins and Pancakes is just Hunter and Juni with a bald and beardless filter on. Yeah, like I mean, I have a goatee for the first time in I don't know how many years, and I do feel like an evil counterpart to myself.
I do feel like
Um,
it's appropriate that you shave to a goatee for the villains episode.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, me without glasses and a goatee is just angry. For the audio listener, you cannot tell how angry I look, but I look really.
Yeah, it's true. It's
It's
a
very.
I
it's very
am
angry looking.
constantly rolling wisdom saving throws against these intimidation checks.
Yeah. And it's unintentional.
It's much less intimidating with the glasses on. Okay.
Artemis, yeah.
Telling
shoot us-
stories
shoot us-
is the
shoot us a vote.
primary and most fundamental way
yeah.
humans bond as a community.
We would be in one
It
shots
always
for-
has
for
been.
things with people.
Stories we tell of others.
But yeah,
of heroes,
you know, I don't know about
myth, and
supporting
legend,
a rival show
and stories we
that's
tell of
clearly
ourselves,
non-fictional,
personal
or this
struggle.
fictional foundation. But I mean, one of them is just trying to.
Anything you just said was
One-
probably overshadowed by a random other ad that started playing, and I don't know what it was.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh no! What do you think that like anybody like nobody heard Paladins and Pancakes
Like,
at all
you
or
guys-
something?
No. Just like within the last like 20 seconds.
Oh, somebody said to hide it.
Legitimately, I don't know what that ad was for. I don't even know where like you guys in the chat are gonna think this is a bit because we just did 2 dumb things. I legitimately don't know where it came. Oh, never mind, I found it.
What is,
It
what are you talking about?
It was for Tavern, which is an app that we had the creator of it come on the show back in August.
Okay,
That sounds right.
so it played over what we had going on or something, or
Like as we wrapped up everything, it was literally like 5 to
Okay.
6 seconds. Something.
okay,
Like
that's funny.
that. But yeah, I have no, I didn't even know that was in there.
Gonna go ahead and delete that from my lineup so I don't accidentally ever do it again.
Okay, well, so we had these ads that I feel were done maliciously, taking advantage of our ad policy, which has since been revised.
Yeah, we have a much
to-
stricter ad policy,
It
which
is-
is you have to give us money.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good. Damn it. That's really good. Shit. Damn. That's
man.
oh man. I'm not a professional. I broke instantly. That's just good. But anyway, so but we're gonna that leads directly into our second segment. Villains. We are the theme is villains today. Hunter, what makes a good villain?
Hey,
Hey,
Shiny,
thanks for
thank you for
subscribing.
subscribing. Appreciate you. For me, a good villain is somebody that you love to hate, right? So it needs to be a character that like for me, the most like iconic villains are like Darth Vader, right? Darth Vader, you're like, oh man, he is iconic, he's imposing, but he's also just this incredible character. Somebody like oh man, immediately losing, like Heath Ledger's Joker is like just such this like twisted and intimidating, but they're like, it's very different ends of the spectrum, right? So on like an alignment scale for me, it's like Darth Vader for me is like lawful evil, whereas the Joker is chaotic evil, and they're very, very different. I think for me, the three things that really go into making a good villain are I have to want to hate them, or I have to like not want to hate them, but I do. Like it has to be one of the two, and then it needs to be a memorable figure. So there needs to be something about them that will be remembered for years to come. Things that are going to stick in players' heads and stuff like that. The third one is that on some level, a villain should make sense.
Yeah.
There are too many villains that their objectives are like, I'm the bad guy, so I'm gonna do this thing. It's like, why though? Like you have to have some form of motivation that is driving that villain. How about you? What makes a good villain for you?
The biggest thing that I know for any of my games that I feel makes everybody happier and more immersed is when they understand the world they're in. That's either they helped build it or something like that, but just they understand the rules of the world, and you can show that in a lot of different ways. And the way you've said that, what they want, clearly what they want, having a goal. I think that if anybody ever makes any sort of character for anything, you don't need to flesh anything out other than just what do they want, and that will shape so much and dictate how they will proceed with things. But there's I've looked up a few different things that like other people say top qualities of a villain, but something else that that really helps me like portray a villain, or that really like makes you feel a villain like is flushed out and gives you that love to hate quality, is they're convinced that they're right, that they're
correct.
The good guy.
Yeah.
And
no villain, well, I won't say no, but most villains will not be like, I am the villain. Like there's very few really compelling villains that think they are like doing something wrong.
And if they are, they're doing it wrong because of XYZ reasons. Yes,
right.
I have to destroy this village, but because it is corrupting I'm doing the greater good. I'm the good guy. And it's that you get what they're doing and you need to convince them. Otherwise, you need to stop them, whatever it is. But then, there's that, I hate them, I don't agree with them. You may think it's stupid, but you know that this is why they're doing it.
Right.
And that'll inform you what you can do to proceed to stop them. And it lets you know how you may or be able to like go about it. There are other things where it says like they should be smart or clever, and I don't necessarily agree with that, but there is something where they need to be worthy opponents to like good counterparts, and that doesn't necessarily mean they have to be really smart. Right. It could be that they're clever.
There has to be an element of them being a foil to the
correct. Yeah.
To the
so if it doesn't, there's street smart, there is book smart, and then sometimes there's like intuition, like you can just like feel things out, and they experience. They could have just been like, I've done it so many times. Yeah, I might not be smart, but I've done it enough times to know this is how I accomplish the thing I want. And then you're not going against intelligence. You're going against a logic and experience that has you know, we need to do what other people haven't done before us to stop this.
Mhm.
One thing that I know I like to really there's two, I think, approaches that like villains can be introduced into stories, and it's like early on origin story situation where they're kind of growing with the heroes.
Mhm.
So it's, you can kind of tell where their origin is from, and you know they're scaling with you, and eventually if you don't stop them, they will be you know, really, really bad. But another one is I love like the Strahd element of they're already max. They're already terrible and
Right,
it's
the
that
opposite, where the players, the characters have to grow to be worthy.
correct,
of
exactly,
that
where it's
final
just like
fight. Yeah.
it's like, you know, it's an element of you may hate them, but you have to like respect their power in the sense of you can't go in and take it lightly.
Mhm.
And it's something where it's like they command a type of respect in that, like, if we go in there, we could do more harm than good because our actions can cause harm and damage to other people and things. So it's, they command a type of respect in just their gravitas or power. There could be their mind, their power, their magic, whatever it is, but there's, you know, an aspect of that. So making sense, and the level of they're on the same level as you, so they're that good foil counterpart, they're worthy, or that's they command respect, they're already way stronger and better, and you need to make yourself better in order to uh bring yourself up. It's like a great villain makes a hero better.
Yeah.
So
I feel like everybody knows about like the hero's journey, right? But if you're trying to flesh out a villain, go through the steps of the hero's journey with the villain as well.
that's good. That's really good.
Like the villain also has that, like, who they were originally, their call to the call to adventure, the journey, the rise and the fall, the rebirth, like all of that stuff should be mirrored in who the villain is. If you are making compelling villains, you can make villains that are truly compelling by going through what does that journey look like. I think too often, when we find villains that are one-dimensional, it's because their motivation, like the only thing they have is the motivation. It's just, okay, well, I want to take over the world. Why?
Yep.
Why do you want that? Weirdly, one of the best examples I can think of for this, in just off the top of my head, is Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb.
Okay.
Is an incredibly well written villain. Because he's a lovable character, who is like trying to take over the tri-state area, and like he has incredible backstory about, like, it's, if you've never watched Phineas and Ferb, you're doing yourself a disservice. Go watch Phineas and Ferb. But there are running bits about, like, Doofenshmirtz, when he was born, neither of his parents showed up for his birth. Doofenshmirtz, when he was little, he broke a lawn gnome that his dad loved, and so his dad dressed him up as a lawn gnome and had him stand out in the garden. Like, there's all of these, like, ridiculous things, and then his brother is the mayor of the tri-state area. And so he, like, it's not about, like, the actual power and control. It's really just he wants to be in charge of, like, that thing that his brother is in charge of. And then he also fights a platypus.
Yes.
But, like, the more you watch of the show, the more you're like, I like this character. He's one of my favorite characters in the show because his story is so compelling, and every new piece of information that you are given about him makes you go, "Aw, I love him." But he's also like, I've made this invention that's going to destroy whatever. But half the time his plans are like, I'm really annoyed by this one really little thing.
It's a very specific
so
thing.
I made this elaborate plan to destroy it, and that will somehow make me the leader of the tri-state area. It's incredible. It's just a very fun character. But yeah, the pull up the hero's journey. If you're fleshing out a villain,
it's true. Yeah.
How did they
go
get
through
to
that
where
way.
they are, and where are they in that journey? Because they in their mind, a good villain is the hero.
You're in their story. They're the protagonists in their anime.
Right.
And you're
You're trying
the
to
bad
stop
guy.
them, so
Yeah.
you're the bad guy. Yeah.
So that's true.
Yeah. Let's see here. Mr. Tauber said it's very culturally different. Here in Brazil, people tend to prefer and gravitate towards a force of nature villain. People who are nigh impossible to redeem. That's very true. Those are also very good villains.
I just realized that there is something that I want to say about villains. If you're ever I'm always about in a story telling things in a story without telling things in a story, without showing them. And one of my favorite villains that is very I've learned that I have to treat very carefully, because it is they can be very triggering for some people. I have an evil it's from the Ravenloft books, where it's Dr. Victor Mordenheim, and they're like a Frankenstein-y Willy Wonka is how I'm kind of flavoring them.
Okay.
And they are physically, yeah, you could probably take them out very simply, but it's more or less they're written in enough time and body parts, they can make great horrors, and it's really nightmare. But I want to show my characters really fast that this person is not to be trifled with. So when they found people, intruders, and they brought them to her, I just made sure that I had those intruders scared and shaking.
Yeah.
And Victor Mordenheim is just drinking a cup of tea and politely asking, "So, why were you in my lab?" And they are just shaking.
The display of power without.
Correct. And then everybody there just knows, oh, they're terrified. And then her going up and just saying like, well, if you won't help me in this, I'm sure there's another way that you can help. And then just the sobbing of knowing that we're going to die.
Yeah.
And just no, and once again, polite niceties and all, just general, not crazy questions, but showing this person is death. And this is how these characters see it, and this is how the world perceives them. And at no point did I have her be threatening or do anything, but the characters absorb that.
Right.
And you know that they have a reputation, and their story goes beyond what you've seen.
Yeah.
And that's
I have a similar villain. He often the thing about this character, his name is Skern. He is rarely a villain that the party is working against. He is almost always a villain that the party is forced to align with against another evil. Where he is clearly bad. He clearly does bad things, but the party is sort of forced to go along with what he is requesting of them in order for his aid to help them against what they deem the greater evil. And pretty much every time I have them like interact with him, every time it's their first interaction with this person, The way I introduce this character is that they will it lives in this tower. The players are brought there. His guards will intercept them outside. They say that they're there for a meeting with him. And the guards will bring them up to the top floor of the tower where his office is, and knock on the door, open it, and he's in there with somebody else. He says, yes, bring them in. I will be just a moment. They bring the players in. He is in the middle of this meeting where he is just sitting at the desk, just sort of playing with a ring on his finger with somebody in front of him, begging and pleading for something. And very, very calmly, he will just stand up and move towards them and lean down, whisper something into their ear. And then he just makes a motion and they disintegrate. And then he just motions with his hand, and the guard will come in and sweep up the dust. And then
into the people bin, like there's a bin of just like people dust.
Yeah,
this is not the first time. Yeah.
But then he just sits down back at his desk, begins playing with his ring again, and just motions for the party to enter. And that is their first interaction with this character. And like the more they delve in, he is vampiric. He is a tiefling. He has this obsidian skin with white hair, horns that sort of curl back along his hair, but then curl back up forward.
He sounds hot.
It sounds hot.
Yes.
He is always described as very hot.
It's frustratingly hot. Yeah.
That's
another thing. Do villains have to be so hot? Like,
they don't, but some of the best ones
it makes you hate them more. We're actually, if we're sticking to this time, I think that's what we're gonna have to end on.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. But we have so much more to talk about for villains that I think we can definitely come back and touch on this in another episode. Or we do have some fun after hours bonus content that we're gonna be throwing out there for our Patreon. So keep an ear out for that. We're gonna be throwing out some different exclusives and things like that. So, but let us know.
I would love to sit down and do a full villain build one time, where it's just us building out a villain.
Yeah, no, that'd be really good. But we have to go. We've talked about villains. We've had unfortunate villains promote themselves on our show. But leave us comments, add us with your Dungeon Master quandaries, your favorite villains, what goes into a villain for you.
If you're not in the Discord yet, go ahead and join the Discord. I'll drop the link in the chat there. Join the Discord. Drop any questions that you want us to go over on a future episode. We will do it probably every week. We'll touch on something quickly. And we're still getting into the flow of what all of this looks like. So in the future, we will do our best to keep things more concise to be able to dive into some of this content more fully.
This felt tighter than last one. Every week
it did get tighter. It's tighter than last time.
Yeah. Good. All right.
But we are working to get a Patreon up that will have extra like bonus content and stuff like that on. And otherwise, we will be back Monday, 8 a.m. Eastern time. Come back and join us. And if you like Humblewood, or you just want to see us play a game where both of us get to play, that is Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. So come check us out there. The link for that channel is also in the chat there. Thank you all so much for coming out here. Juni, do you wanna give the send off this week?
No. This has been a fun challenge for you. I want you to send off with our classic sign off. Tell the people what we want to say. Thank you all for coming, and Hunter, leave them with this.
All right. Well, until Monday, go buy one of those tiny little popper things that shoots confetti everywhere. shoot it at a friend. If you are going to be out where you have the ability to order a pizza, order a full pizza and eat it over the next couple of days. And if you haven't already, watch a movie that you've never seen before, but in a language you don't speak. And until next time, remember to embrace the nonsense. We'll catch you on Monday. Have a great weekend.
That last one's good. That last one's really good.